In these figures, we want to look at the control of capillary blood flow and how that flow is adjusted to meet the needs of the tissues that these capillaries supply. Now, blood flow to a particular tissue, again, these are microscopic images here, right? The cells of the tissue would be found out here in the interstitial space. We can add a few, right? These are the cells of this particular tissue that are surrounded by these capillaries. And the capillaries are supplying their oxygen and nutrients and waste removal needs. Now, the blood flow to that capillary bed is supplied by an arteriole, right? That's a very small artery that's very muscular, has smooth muscle in its walls. And these can constrict or dilate to adjust blood flow between these microscopic areas. Now, into the capillaries, we also have these pre-capillary sphincters in many tissues. Now, these sphincters, these rings of smooth muscle, help us adjust the blood flow through this particular capillary bed. And on the left here, these sphincters are dilated, allowing us to get maximum blood flow through all of these capillaries, enhancing the exchange with these cells I've drawn, right, the tissue cells. Now, those cells are helping to determine whether these precapillary sphincters and the arteriole itself is constricted or dilated. If these cells are hypoxic and they have too much carbon dioxide, then those factors will actually dilate these sphincters and dilate this arteriole to enhance blood flow through this particular capillary network, enhancing that exchange and maintaining homeostasis in this sort of microscopic, view of a piece of tissue here. On the right, if this tissue, if these cells that are out here in the interstitial space, right, surrounded by these capillaries, if those cells are content, in other words, if they have enough oxygen, if they're not in need of anything in the moment, that will actually cause these sphincters to constrict, right? These precapillary sphincters and the arteriole itself will constrict, minimizing blood flow through those capillaries, possibly even eliminating blood flow through those capillaries. We may still have a thoroughfare passage here to get from the arteriole to the venous circuit, but we're not perfusing the bulk of these capillaries because we just don't need to in that moment. And over time, what we'll find is that we are actually going to go back and forth between these two scenarios. Perfused when we need oxygen and we need waste removal, and unperfused once those needs have been met. And we just sort of bounce back and forth over time, helping to maintain homeostasis in that tissue.